So in this video, we are going to talk about 3 different ways to make a forehand flick. The 3 ways are a push flick, a smash flick, and my favorite, a tricky flick with some side spin. We start out with a few advice who works the same for all 3 of these flicks. The first one is how you should use your feet. Every time you're going to make a forehand flick, you need to take a step in under the table with the foot on the same side as you hold your racket. So if you're right-handed, you should take a step in with your right foot. If you're left-handed, you should take a step in with your left foot. And this is extremely important because if you want control in your flick, you cannot reach for the ball. You need to be close enough for it to have it in a position where you can really make the movement and use your body and arm as you want. The second advice that's very important for all these 3 flicks is to take the ball on its highest point or even later. And this is very positive because it will make it easier to make the flick, because you don't always need to be like super fast into the table to be able to do it. It works well even if you're a bit late and you can take your time to make your decision. Another very important thing that's almost the same for all these 3 flicks is that you need to flick the ball in front of your body. The slightly difference is that if you want to push flick or make the trick flick, it works as well if you hit the ball straight in front of you as if you hit it a little bit in front of you but to the right side. While the smash flick almost only works if you hit it slightly to the right side in front of you. Of course, it's possible to hit the smash flick straight in front of you, but you will not get the same power and control from there. When you make the push flick, you need to turn up your hand like this. And this is the angle you should have of your hand and racket during all of the movement. Of course, when you want to take it further to the next level, you can wait as long as possible to have another angle on your racket, just to change in the last second to make it trickier for your opponent. But the key is that when you hit the ball, you need to have this angle of the racket. So when you make the push flick, your wrist should not move, and also you should not be moving your underarm. Instead, it's your elbow that makes the work. So you come to the ball and then you let your elbow push your racket forward. So you go into the ball, you turn up your wrist, you let the ball get really close to the racket. It's extremely important to let the ball be close to the racket when you make this flick. So you wait for the ball, and when you feel that, okay, now the ball is really close to the racket, you can almost be completely still before you make the acceleration and push your racket with help from your elbow forward against the placement you want. This flick works as well if you take the ball on its highest point or if you take it later. And I think this is the easiest forehand flick to make, and it's a very good basic knowledge, both because it's a good flick itself, but it's also a good knowledge to have before you learn the other 2. So we move on to the smash flick. If you imagine yourself a forehand flick, it's probably this one you think about. It's a very hard shot, but it looks very good. And I believe that many players sometimes use it just to scare their opponent. They know it's a risky shot, but they don't want the opponent to know that you are predictable. So they use this forehand smash flick also to make them insecure to know where the ball will come next. But of course, with this video, we want you to be able to make this shot with both quality and control. When you make the smash flick, just like the other flicks, it's very important that you let the ball come close to your racket before making the acceleration. This is to make sure that you get good timing and that you don't feel your opponent's spin so much. Then, since you're slightly to the right side of your body, you're able to make a move with your underarm. So your underarm will accelerate from a little bit to the side and in to the middle. Your wrist should be pretty stiff in the beginning, but then relaxed when you do the movement, so it goes forward and it can look like you make a part of the flick with your wrist, but the truth is that it's the underarm who works and the flick just follow with the last kick in the shot. At the same time as you do the movement with your underarm, it's extremely important that you also do it with your body. To be synchronized with your body and underarm when you do the smash flick is a key to have control and power in it. And this flick is perfect to do, almost necessary when you get short balls a bit high. Then you want to go in and make a really hard flick. It's of course possible on lower balls too, but then I recommend you to use a lot less power and just flick it in. Something that differs this flick from the other 2 we talk about in this video is that it's perfect to make diagonal. The other two flicks, the push flick and the trick flick, is a lot better to do straight, while I think that the smash flick should only be used diagonal. It is also important that you make the movement slightly upwards. This is to get a little bit of topspin. You don't want topspin as in a forehand topspin attack or something, but you want a little bit of topspin to make sure that the ball gets to dive in to your opponent's side. Before the last flick, my favorite one, don't forget to comment what you want to learn in the future and to subscribe to not miss our adventure to take this channel to new heights. Let's talk about my favorite, the perfect table tennis shot to break your opponent's back and to make them really go in the wrong direction, the trick flick. Okay, so like in the other serves, you want to wait until the ball is close to your racket. But when you wait for the ball, you will have a racket angle that shows your opponent that you will play maybe short or push it or flick it to your opponent's forehand. So you wait with the racket angle, but then when the ball comes and are really close to the racket, you wait as long as possible, and just when you hit the ball, you turn up your wrist to hit the ball behind the ball while you drag your underarm to the side to create side spin on the ball and get a deep angle with a straight direction. This flick, just as the push flick, works as well if you take the ball on its highest point or later. It doesn't matter at all. It could even be better to take it later, since the opponent will get more time to be confused and wonder, okay, what is he going to do next? So it doesn't matter if you are a bit late to the ball, maybe you are ready for a long ball to attack on and then it comes short, you can still make this very qualitative forehand flick. I hope that this video has been really helpful for you and to see you again soon.